Okay, what we're going to do next is we're going to make the drawer fronts. Now, this isn't a really hard thing to do. You can see how easily they're glued on. Now, let's see which one of them here. Here it is. I went ahead and whipped up this one. It's not a hard thing to do. It looks hard. It's not. Not at all. You can see I've put 2 holes in here, and that's where the drawer pulls will go. What I do is, it's kind of nice to have little bits of scrap around. I need to make the 7.6 centimeters wide. And then because all of these shelves are different sizes, I need to figure out which size needs to be for each one. So small, medium, and large. Oh, pardon me. Small, medium, and large. I've already come in and measured. This is it's about 2 millimeters on either side of this hole. So I already know what the width is going to be. Then what I do, and this is the part where you gotta practice and know. So I know when I put, let me see if I can tip that. Yeah, I can tip that here. That when I put this here, that the opening for this is about 1.8. I'm going to put it on the outside where 2 millimeters is going to end right on that line. That line, the opening. And then I'm going to look to the bottom. So this is about 2.2. This is going to be about 1.7. This is going to be 1.3. Do I have that down as 3? I think I have it down as 4. It might be, no, it's 4. So once that's done, I simply cut out a piece. I measure out a piece that is 7.6 wide. And then with my little handy thing here, I usually start with my smallest one. And it needs to be 1.4. I'm going to put this right here. 1.4. 1.4. And then give it a line. There's the first one. 1.7 is the next. 1.567. 1.67. Okay. Oops. You stay there. Okay. And then 2.2. Now, it seems intimidating, but it really isn't. It really isn't. If you take everything in like a little bite-sized chunk. So there they are. Now I need to figure out where I'm going to put the holes for the pulls. And you can see here I've used a tool to make the holes. And the way that I do that is I know for this size about 1.5 centimeters from the edge is good. And I'm going to measure this. And oops. Okay, whatever you are, go away. Go away. Go away. Some sort of bug. Okay. And instead of drawing a line all the way through, I just draw little lines, little dash lines, because I'm going to be erasing these anyway. And then for each of these, 1.2 and half is 1.1, so that one will go there. 1.1, 1.7 and half, 16 would be 8, so it's like 7.5. And 1.4 and half is 7 on the dot. Okay. And then once these aren't very neat and tidy, I just need to know where the cross points are because then I can use my my awl and simply make a hole in where they join up. And I do that before I cut them apart because it's a little easier to do it that way. And then I can erase everything out and cut them. Then all you do is put them here and cut. So that's the, ooh, way too long. The easiest and simplest way to do it. And then of course you can now, if they come out a little unbalanced, like this was a little tick unbalanced this way, they were a little too close on the bottom, just flip it around. Anytime you are putting something inside of a frame, because this is technically a frame, weight the bottom of it. It means you add a little bit more to the bottom of something than the 3 sides, top and the 2 sides. So that's how I measure and cut them out. Now when it comes to gluing them down, I rarely, if ever, I remember trying in the beginning to like draw where I would glue them down, and it's so much easier to just not do it that way. When I'm looking, I am, where's my little scoring tool? I'm looking here and I'm looking here to get them about 2 millimeters. And I'm not going to be really angry if it's not 2 millimeters. Again, there is I want my artwork to look as though it is handmade. I don't want it to look like it is from a store or mass manufactured. When you put the glue on these, make sure you get the glue all the way to the outside. All the edges. Butter that toast. And then all you do, I can see it here on either end, and move that just a tick that way. And this is where this tool can come in really handy, because I can get in there and press things down. Now, one of the reasons I do the holes first is because the hole, putting in the little poles are the next thing. And you can see here, it pops in. Ta-da! And it doesn't move. This one's a little tight. I think I did this one right here a little bit better. Yeah, that one's a little bit better. But there it is. This one pokes out just a tiny bit. I'm not going to be too mad at that. I'm just going to press it in. So let's try that again. Let's do the middle one. And I put the glue on the drawer. And then remember to make sure it goes all the way to each corner. You don't necessarily want any splooting out on either side, but you want to make sure that the entire drawer makes contact. Okay, and you notice I put these vertically in front of myself. It's a little easier to see both sides as I'm doing this because I'm moving my head back and forth. Okay, that's a little, there we go. And the thing is, if it's a little crooked, it's not that big of a deal. I know that I try really hard to make things as straight as possible, but sometimes it just doesn't work, and I'm not gonna have a heart attack about it. Drawer number 2. Okay, and let's do the last one. Just a smidgy more. It's totally okay if stuff isn't balanced. If you know, what is it, Jake the dog says, sucking at something is the first way of kind of starting to get good at something. So, you know, don't let your anxieties rule too much. Because again, if you're doing this for yourself, nobody's got to see it. It's just between you and your maker. You and your Lord God. And whomever you want to share it with. So I'm sharing this with you, so, you know. There they are. And let's see. I think I cut these out. These drawers are just as... No, that one fits perfectly. And there you go. They're all in there, and they don't wobble around too much. If I tip this, let's tip this up. Raise that up. You can see, I think we're almost done. We only have a couple of things left to do. We need to do the pulls on the drawers and the pulls for the cabinets, plus some adding a little tiny bit of paper there, and then they're done. This isn't a really super complex piece of furniture, even though it has triangular drawers. I mean, oh, and I also want to show you how I sometimes add a bit more paper to the insides of these to give them a little bit more oomph, depending on what you want to do with this. If you're going to make this and stick it on your little doodad shelf and set little miniature things on it, and no one's ever really going to touch it, you don't need to do much with that. But if you're like me, and I like to kind of, I play with stuff, because, you know, I play with dolls. I like to reinforce them a little bit. So I'll show you how to do that in the next video, but I can't do that video until tomorrow because the sun is going down. So I will see you in the next video, patrons. Thanks for sticking around with me. And yeah, we just got like maybe 1.5 more things to show. So see you in the next video.